the meaning that I gave to my trauma as a child was, oh, I got abused, I got hit, I'm not worthy to live, I should have been dead like my mom. So I never thought that I was worthy enough to live. So my body found ways, because our body is amazing, as you know, it finds ways to agree with whatever that we believe. And I believed that I was not worthy. So my body found ways to make me sick enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I hurt myself in the end by just believing that I'm not worthy to just live.
Right. I didn't realize that the body directly correlates
Supports.
to what you think. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it has that much of an impact on the
Yeah.
wellness of the physical wellness of a person.
I know,
And
right?
you're a living example. In this episode of Ask the Boss, we have Dini Tajudin, who is a coach for founders of products to build their personal brands on social media channels, especially on LinkedIn. Welcome to Ask the Boss, Dini.
Thank you, Datin Sarina, for having me here today.
It is a pleasure. I think we've been planning this since last year.
We did,
Yeah,
yes.
and due to your busy schedule and my busy schedule, we have finally decided to come to this date to have a chat about what you do and your personal challenges
Yes.
in helping people to build brands. I mean, there's a tall order to help people to build brands.
It is. Initially, when you approach the subject, I was thinking, like, could I actually share? Could I actually do it? But then figured that, yes, this is the time. This is the right time. Yes, I'm excited for our talk today.
Yeah, and when you build brands for people, for founders, you inevitably end up a lot on the social media.
Yes.
Yeah,
indeed.
and that resulted in you posting a lot.
Yes.
Within your personal space as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't always start that way. When I first started, I was with corporate and we built brand for corporates. So the way that works is it's more of a professional approach. So you don't really have to think about connecting with your audience because you really think about what does the brand want to say to the customers? How do they want to be portrayed? So there's like a layer in between them, the company and the brand, and also the end consumers or the customers or the clients. But when I left corporate and I became an entrepreneur myself, I realized that in order to grow really fast online, and if you don't have such deep pockets as corporates do, and you don't have a marketing budget that can fit 25 people on board, and you are the everything, you are the talent and you are the content creator, I realized that you have to cut the chase really quickly. And the fastest way in cutting through the noise online is just talking directly to the person that you want to help and impact. And that requires being present online, showing your face, sharing a little bit about your story, how you got there so that people understand you, people can see who's behind the brand, and people want to support you on your journey. And that required me to step out after for years being comfortable behind the scenes, and then coming out during the MCO, nonetheless, was a massive change. And it took a lot of me to realize that, okay, it's actually really hard. Yeah.
So in order to build brands for other people, you had to build your own brand.
Yeah, indeed.
And that required you to step out.
Yes.
And how did that affect you, being on the online space?
Can I just be super honest with you right now? Okay. So this is exactly what happened. During the MCO, I have built brands for corporates and businesses for many years. At that time, about 12 years. But when MCO happened, I realized that nobody knew me online, because most of the time, the clients that I met, we met face to face. We pitched our tender and everything, because I dealt with MNCs. we had to go for presentations. So they were convinced by the face-to-face. But online, who would know me? Nobody would know me because even though I had a LinkedIn account, which was not active, there was no showcase of my talents online. I was never featured across any magazines or whatever. So how would people know and engage with me? And I realized, okay, now if I want clients to come to me, I got to step outside of my comfort zone and talk about what I can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't realize was how difficult that was. Like, you would think that putting up, just your phone and then going live online was, it might be easy, just hit play and then start talking. But the internal struggle that I face, like, oh my God, it's like, am I saying the right thing? Can I do this? Is there anybody listening? Is it even worth it? Am I even worth it to say these things? All of that talk while I was delivering whatever I needed to deliver, being live every single day, crushed me inside. So outside, I looked like I was okay, but inside I was struggling with my presence online, especially being an introvert. So that really took a toll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was not easy at all. I cried every day.
Right. So you were struggling with yourself on the inside.
Yeah.
But what was the reception of the audience out there?
Initially, I think in beginning anything, the initial was not that high because I wasn't consistent at all. I went live and then I saw there was only 4 people and I gave up and I cried. And I went into my cave for about a week. And then I told myself at one point, my life would never change if I don't step out of my comfort zone, because growth never happens within our comfort zones. So I told myself that, okay, I've never done this before. It's going to be uncomfortable, but I got to sign up to it. I just got to sign up to the problems. I got to sign up to all the challenges. And I took an oath because I took up a course at that time. And the challenge was to go live every single day. And I did. I went live every single day. Even after I hit like, okay, done live, click the red button, I'm done. And I cried. And some days I didn't want to go live. I didn't want to be out in the spotlight. But I did it anyway for 120 days. And that made me realize that growth doesn't happen, or the thing that you want will not happen in 1 day, not in 2 days, not in 3 days. But the thing that changed for me was on the 54th live. Live number 54 was when I started feeling that a little bit comfortable speaking like on camera. And that's when I realized that, this is my breaking point. This is the point where I say it's okay. And from there, it just went like wildfire. The response was amazing.
Oh, what did you do on live number 54? What was the spark?
I don't really remember, but what I do remember was one day, I remember why it changed though. Because one day my sister was at home with me and I told her, wait, I got to do my live. It happens every 3 p.m. every day. I got to do this. So you just sit in front, I'll do it, I'll get back to you. She was over visiting. And then she saw me going live. And then when I was done, she said, why do you speak like that? And I said, what do you mean? Like, why do you speak like you're presenting? It's like, obviously I'm presenting online. What do you mean? Just imagine if you were talking to me and then you spoke with that voice. How do you think I would perceive it? It's like, yeah, but I'm presenting online. I don't know who's online. And I said, why don't you just try this? Try imagining the person behind the screen is just your best friend. It's nobody like you don't know. It's just your best friend. And try speaking in a way that, if you talk to your best friend and you're putting up airs like, hi, this is how you do it. Like, obviously, they're going to call you out because you seem kind of fake. So try be different, just speaking to your best friend. I was like, okay, fine. I'll imagine I'm speaking to my best friend, which is my cousin, Nadia. And then live number 54 was different because I imagined instead of the unknown numbers and figures on the screen, I was just talking to Nadia. And I spoke to her in a way that she would understand, like to an 8-year-old. She's smart, but I gotta like say some things technical, and then I explained to it really simply. And the response was amazing because the crowd finally felt closer to me. and I felt closer to them. And the wall is down. Because for once, I didn't feel the need to protect, to defend. I wasn't ashamed because I was talking to somebody that I knew.
So when you were on live, is it on what, TikTok, Instagram?
That was Facebook time, yeah.
Facebook. Oh, that was Facebook time. So you went on. What were you talking about? What was your topic during the live?
At the time, I realized that a lot of people like me, my friends especially, they were struggling to make ends meet because, like me, we couldn't find any clients online at the time. And a few friends who just got laid off during the MCO approached me, said, Dini, you've sold things online before successfully. Can you show us how to do this? Because, we got to make ends meet. And then I said, yeah, sure. Like, I'll share with you what I know, what I've been doing. So I taught this couple how to sell things online by using live. And then they made sale. And then they're so happy. They came again the next weekend with their friends. Like, oh yeah, our friends here, they also got laid off and they want to learn too. So can you? Yeah, sure. And after a few weekends, and one of my friends said, Dini, maybe you should hold a bigger class and just charge. It's like, I don't know, I've never done this before. Yeah, but why don't you just try? It's like, okay, let's do that. And I opened my first class and 48 people signed up. And I was like, wow, this is possible. And somebody is actually paying for this information about how to sell things online, which was digital marketing, but done personally. And I was
so your coaching was, your life was on coaching people how to sell online.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Just how to sell online. Because people think that, okay, it's enough if I just put up a page, put up my logo there, and then people will buy.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You could have the most beautiful logo in the world, created by like the top 4 agencies in Malaysia, 4 marketing agency, but it won't sell. Things don't sell itself. And founders eventually realize, especially when they come to my class, that before people buy from you, they gotta learn to know and like and trust you first. They gotta know, oh yeah, this person gets me. Oh, I like what they're saying. Oh, I feel like I know them and they know me. Okay, I'm gonna trust them. Finally, they make a purchase from you. And before all of that happens, you gotta be online and you gotta show up as a person that they can trust. So essentially, you're selling yourself before you're selling any product or service. So a lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
So you overcame it.
Yes.
After 54
lives.
And 120 days.
180 days straight of going live. With lots of tears.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the emotional journey that you went through? Because I read that you had PTSD, depression.
I did.
I mean, was going live really that bad?
I think maybe for me it was because the thing that I realized, and this was after I took certification in coaching and wellness, looking back, I realized why I suffered through so much emotionally, mentally, and also just went through a really terrible case of PTSD. The thing was, when I went live, I started garnering like a lot of followers, like massive amounts. Like my Instagram grew to, currently is at 34,000, but it started with just 400 family and friends. And my Facebook was just like 300 family and friends, and it grew to thousands. So within that short period of time, I grew a lot of people, like fans, followers, people that appreciate what I was doing to help other people. But when you're doing something, obviously there's gonna be haters. There's gonna be people who don't agree with what you say, or they feel slighted, or for whatever reason. So I went through that as well. But my case was a bit severe because the person violated my personal privacy. The person went into my home. Yes, they broke in, took pictures, and posted it online.
And how did they know where you live?
I don't know. I think because at that time, I was also like giving out, people want to give, gifts to me. They want to like Dini, can I send you like, my product, my shawl? So I would give them my dress. So I think that's how.
Okay. So they broke into this person broke into your home.
Yes. And took pictures and posted it online and taunted me with it. And that broke me. Because I came online just to make a living and just to help other people on their journey. I did not sign up for this. I did not sign up for my privacy to be violated. I never post any pictures of my home because I'm a very private person online. And this person did that. And I felt so violated that I couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, why was she doing this to me? What did she gain? Like, what? And all these questions. And looking back, I realized that what really violated me was it tapped into a really bad trauma that I had when I was a child. Because, when you think that somebody broke into your home, it can't be that bad, Like, it shouldn't feel that bad. I mean, it's bad, but I had PTSD like for over 2 years.
After that incident?
Yeah. And I couldn't go online. And whenever I went online, I trembled. And I was
just
crying.
because of this one person?
Yeah, because of this one person. Also, I thought. And eventually I realized that because that incident triggered a past memory. A past memory where I felt deeply hurt when my privacy was violated. And that was when I was a child, actually. I was, me and my siblings was abused. We were physically, mentally, and emotionally abused. Very, very bad. And that abuse, because a little backstory is, I promise you it's going to be short. When my mother passed away when I was 10, leaving us 4 siblings. So I was the eldest and the youngest was 1 year old. And my father was working full time. He was the head department of dental head department of Malaysian hospital. So he was basically busy and always away. So he remarried so that somebody could take care of us and not just a maid, because we were really small. So unbeknownst to him, because he was away most of the time, we were being abused. And when you're abused at that age, at 10, 8, 6, and 1, you take everything that the elders say as the truth.
How old were you? You were 10?
I was 10.
So you were the eldest?
I was the eldest.
Right.
And every single day there was a protocol that we had to go through, which was the shame protocol.
What protocol?
It's a shame protocol. Basically shaming us. Like, why are we alive? Like, your own mother is dead. Like, because she doesn't want to take care of you. Why are you still alive? So my stepmother did that. And I held resentment and anger for many years. But being Malay, being Muslim, being from a family, a larger family unit, that we can't blame elders for things. So I just took it in stride.
How many years did you?
It was about 8 years.
Until you were 18?
Until I was 18.
But your siblings, they're all much younger.
Because after that, my father got divorced.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
The age of, okay.
Yeah, so we were freer. So that memory of the person violating my personal space triggered that memory of feeling of unworthiness. Because when I was being abused, I wrote down all of my woes in my diary. And then when I found out that my stepmother read them and made fun of me and taunted me with it, it triggered the same memory when my home was being violated by that person. And then that opened up a whole Pandora's box of things, because then I realized that, I had past trauma that I suppressed. And that is why it was so hard for me to go live online, because I never felt that I was good enough. I never felt that I was good enough to live, good enough to say anything that will bring value to other people. So I only realized this looking back. And at that time, going through that PTSD, it was hell on earth. Because I keep asking myself, why? Why does this happen to me? What does this person want? Like, what did I do so bad that it warranted this? And then I realized that, oh, okay, I had unresolved feelings of shame. Now, going forwards, I realized that reading through Brené Brown's work on shame, she defines it as this extremely painful experience where you feel completely unworthy. You don't feel belonged. And that was exactly how I felt being abused as a 10-year-old. And that was exactly how I felt being violated a few years ago. And that was all because of unresolved and suppressed trauma that I never addressed.
Mm-hmm. But in between, you got married.
I got married.
You have children.
I had children. I had thriving, that's the crazy thing. People think that if we carry trauma, we can't function in other ways. But we successful women, we can function, we can multitask, we can be a mom, be a wife, be a daughter. We can kill at our targets, goals, and be professional in settings, and yet still carry that deep within. And it will only come out if a trigger happens.
And how did you overcome it? That feeling of unworthiness. I'm sure you had your children, your family to support, to tell you that that is not the case.
Yeah.
But how did you see a doctor, or what helped you to overcome all that, to be where you are today, to coach others, which we will go into later?
Yeah. The first thing that I realized how it affected me was I was afraid to do anything. I was in my cave, my safe place, which is at home, not going live, not doing anything, just binging on K-drama after K-drama, finding solace over things, over just being a mom. And I realized one thing: I wasn't really living. And I tried to look for escape first, because as humans, we want comfort first, rather than this is a problem, I need to solve it. We look for quick patches. So I realized that all of the things that I was doing was not helping in resolving my symptoms. It still persisted. So what I did was I tried, because my PTSD became so bad that it manifested in sickness. So I had a flare up of my PCOS. I was diagnosed with PCOS very early. It flared up again. And then PCOS is polycystic ovary disease, for those who are not clear. So what it does is it disrupts your hormones. And when I say hormones, your hormones go haywire to the point that, in my case, I had memory loss for 6 months. I was bedridden for 6 months. When I woke up, I don't remember the conversations that happened. I don't even remember my child being sick. And I'm a very engaged mom. So it was really bad. And I gained 25 kilos without even trying. All within the space of 2 years. My hormones was everywhere. And it flared up my endometriosis. And my endometriosis, I already had, I forgot. I already had a surgery. I'm sorry. I already had a surgery on it a few years ago, but it flared up again. So when we have unresolvedness within us, it manifests, and we don't resolve it or we don't address it, we suppress it, it manifests physically in terms of sickness, in terms of autoimmune disease, hormonal problems for women. So I was trying to find cures for this and for that, and I went to the hospital. I went to the doctors for 2 years, non-stop, taking blood tests. My cancer marker was so high that Path Lab called me after they got the results. You better go to the doctor now. It's super high. When I went to the doctor checked. It's we don't really know where it is. So they poked and prodded me for the next 1 year. And they gave me medicine to balance up my hormones, which the side effect made it worse. Because again, they're just treating the symptoms and not the cure for the problem. And then that's when I asked myself, okay, there must be a better way to be better. Because I need to work, I need to contribute, I need to live. Okay, I'm more than this, I'm more than my sickness. And then in my desperate hours, I berdoa kepada Allah. I pray to Allah and I ask, Allah, please just show me the way. I am at my last straws. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. And then I was looking for answers through energy healing because, when you're sick, you don't feel motivated, you feel down, and then you can't do anything. You're just like, on the bed. I went for energy healing certification. I even did my MBA. Wow. Through the sickness because when the doctor said that they thought that it was cancer, I thought that, oh, okay, I better do my bucket list then. So let's go and do my MBA, not knowing whether I would finish it, but hoping that I will. And alhamdulillah, I did last year.
And this is in MBA in which?
Oh, I did MBA, Masters in Business Admin in UKM.
Okay.
Yeah. And through all of that.
Or were you a full-time student? You did it part-time?
I did full-time.
Oh, full-time. So you went back to school, so to speak.
I did. I did because I didn't know whether I could make it until the end, but I hoped that I did. So it became a goal, like, please, like, let me finish this.
And that energy healing, is that, I can see that, is that an energy bracelet you're wearing?
It's an onyx, yes.
Right.
It repels, well, inshallah, it repels certain energies, yeah. So I did energy healing, all of this to look for ways to become better. And then I found the real answer, alhamdulillah. I went for certification for conversing, like creating meaningful conversations. And this was with Muslimah woman coaching, Sis Annie Yahya. And I did that coaching certification in order to heal myself, to have meaningful conversations within myself, to ask the right questions. So we are screwed essentially because we ask the wrong questions. I was screwed because I was asking why. Why did this happen to me? Why did this person do this to me? I didn't want to hurt anyone. Why did it happen anyway? But what I should be asking is, this happened. What meaning am I giving it? Because any given situation can happen to us, but it doesn't matter about like what happened really, but what meaning we give to it. The meaning that I gave to my trauma as a child was, oh, I got abused, I got hit, I'm not worthy to live, I should have been dead like my mom. So I never thought that I was worthy enough to live. So my body found ways, because our body is amazing, as you know, it finds ways to agree with whatever that we believe. And I believed that I was not worthy. So my body found ways to make me sick enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I hurt myself in the end by just believing that I'm not worthy to just live.
Right. I didn't realize that the body directly correlates to what you think. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't realize it has that much of an impact on the wellness of the physical wellness of a person.
I know,
and
right?
You're a living example.
I know. When I found, because I'm the type of person that I will always want to know like the research behind it. Because if people tell me, it's like, really? And then when I got into the research, like how did my thoughts contributed to how I felt, how I showed up, how I lived, then realized that, oh my God, I have been thinking thoughts deep inside. No, this is not we have our subconscious and our conscious mind. The thing that goes on, like, when we drive a car is our subconscious mind, because we already know how to do it. It's our automatic mind. So that subconscious mind, which runs 95% of our life, really is the thing of what we believe inside. And what I believe inside, which I never questioned, was I was not worthy. And it stemmed from when I was small. I never addressed it. I never questioned the validity of it. I just took it as a given. And it only came about when I saw all of this research. Like, my mind agreed with my belief, and together they work in keeping me sick. And when I realized that, it's like, if my mind can do that to me, then that means that, inshallah, I can reverse it. And going through, this is built upon like lots of research, based on not just the Islamic side, but also the scientific research by doctors in the Western world, where it is proven that your mind can do amazing things. It can heal you if you believe that you deserve it. So I started working on questioning my core beliefs. Why do I deem myself not worthy when Allah essentially deemed me worthy? Allah never said that, if Allah deemed me not worthy, my life would end today. It's dah habis maksudnya. But the fact that I get another day and another day and another day, how am I living that life? And then slowly I started working on my beliefs. And slowly my mind started clearing up. Before it was brain fog, couldn't focus, couldn't process anything, hormones was haywire. And then I got into the science of PCOS, looking at what affects our hormones. And I realized that number one, it's obviously stress. Stress is the cause of a lot of things. And then secondly is the fact that my body could not process carbohydrates. It turns it, instead of energy, like other people, normal people, turns it into fat immediately, and it gets stored. So that's how I was like gaining 25 kilos within 2 years. And while all of this is happening, I was trying to balance being a mom, being a student, and being everything at once. And I realized that, okay, how do I be better for everyone, especially for me? Because if I can't take care of myself, how can I take care of others?
So before you healed yourself, you were thinking, I'm not worthy and all that. So how did you switch? What did you tell yourself in order to switch to become better? Physically, emotionally?
Okay.
What was
that
switch? What did you tell yourself?
All right. So going through it, I have this framework that I built. And this came about because I was trying to heal myself. And this framework, I call it BISME. And it starts with B for belief. I question myself like, okay, I asked myself, have you heard of this, the 5 whys by 5 whys problem solving question? So this is a framework created by Soichiro Honda, the creator of Honda. So he calls it the 5 whys problem solving method. So they use it for their production line. Like they keep asking, okay, why do we need this feature? Why until they solve the problem. But for wellness, we use it to get to the bottom of why do we believe a certain thing. So I keep asking myself, why do I believe that I'm not worthy? What supports it? What supports that? When did it start to happen? And I ask myself why until there's no more answer. Until I come with the most basic thing that it happened during my childhood. And I realized that, why did I believe that? And I realized that, okay, I think when I was small, I just took whatever that adults say as a given, as the rule, because we're brought up that way, being Asian. And then it's time to revisit what I believe. And then when I wanted to reorganize my principles, I asked, what should I believe? And I went back to Islam, and I went back to Allah, and then I went back to the Quran, and the Quran said that you are deemed worthy, you are loved. You are infinitely loved. You are loved more than your creator, even more so than your own mother. And because I never had a mother, so to speak, when I grew up, knowing that Allah loves me and took care of me throughout those years that I was traumatized, and I carried that pain throughout those years without realizing the hurt that I felt inside, that manifested in sickness outside, filled me with a sense of warmth, knowing that whatever happens, Allah is there. I'm okay, I'm protected, I'm safe, and I am worthy. So that changed first. And then the second, so the BISME concept is, first is belief, second is intention. I asked myself, now that I know that, what is my intention in doing everything that I do? So for the past few years, I talked about digital marketing. I want to teach people how to sell things online, how to present yourself online. But what was the intention there? And I realized that I need realignment. Because at the end of the day, we're not just here to make a living. Because we are not just beings of this world. Every Muslim believes that we are a being of du alam, or both worlds. We have this here now world, and we have the hereafter. And whatever that we do now should contribute to the hereafter. So I asked myself, how does that contribute to my hereafter? And I realized that, okay, I want to help these people overcome whatever that I went through, and realize making them feel like, because anyone that we speak to, they must be carrying some sort of trauma, whether they've realized it or not. And that trauma might manifest into physical pain, such as cancer, whatever it is. So I want to help these people who are maybe going through a transition period that I went through, or going through an epiphany or a trigger, which took things into perspective. Usually it takes a trigger to make you see your life that way. So I want to help them to see that it's possible. You can change, but you have to set your intention. How do you want to live your life? Yeah.
So BIS.
S is knowing that whenever you want to change something, we need the strength, we need the energy. But ultimately, we don't have that much strength. We don't have that much energy, because everything belongs to Allah. So surrender to Allah, to the most powerful, to get the strength. Because if it was just me, myself, and I, like the Western culture is, what if I do not feel like it that day? I, again, feel unworthy that day. Just remember that Allah deems me worthy. Surrendering to Allah, knowing that I'm not powerful, Ya Allah, please help me, Ya Allah. And then surrender, with that comes strength, because you're leaning onto something stronger. And then M is movement. Knowing that even on the days I don't feel like I want to, I still gotta move, because movement creates momentum. Momentum creates energy, the right energy and action to change. And finally, I is inspire. Inspire, living an inspired life. Because previously I was just, okay lah, cruising through life, like, okay, it's comfortable, happy to help. But I wasn't living an inspired life, a joyful life, really, really living, like really seeing the changes in people. So previously I was more like, okay, come to my coaching, group coaching. I'm happy you could do it, But now I really want to see changes, because I know that if we could impact one person, that person becomes a ripple effect and can impact other people. Because one person, if I want to change the world, I can't do it by myself, And I'm not that strong or not that powerful. But if we impact the next person and the next person impacts another, it becomes beautiful, beautiful ripple effect. Yeah.
And you help founders on LinkedIn.
Yes.
How to build a brand on LinkedIn.
Yes.
But do they have live on LinkedIn?
They do have
They do?
Yeah.
I'm not much on LinkedIn, although I do have an account, but I've actually never seen a live on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more, it's not really, you know how like on TikTok, you always see people going live there. It's not really that visually put across on LinkedIn, on the platform itself. But there are lives on LinkedIn.
Why do you encourage people to go live on LinkedIn? Is it because of the different audience there?
On LinkedIn, I don't really encourage people to go live. I just encourage them to be consistent in posting. Be it like post 3 times a week or every day if they want to, but be present and comment and reply to comments and build relationships and not just spam people with sales messages. Yeah.
What is the benefit of, what do you find special in LinkedIn
compared to other
platforms?
I love this question. Excellent question. Because I get this a lot from founders especially. So the thing about LinkedIn is, it is what I call lubuk emas.
Really?
Yes.
Lubuk emas.
Yes, because it is the only social media platform where you can find decision makers, key decision makers, and your target audience and target customers or clients, like targeted. Because on TikTok, on Instagram, you can't find them.
Is it not more B2B though? on
Yeah,
LinkedIn?
we used to think that way, yeah. But the truth is, a lot of bosses are on LinkedIn. So bosses are decision makers. So whenever you wanna sell, but in bulk, or you wanna have collaborations or network with people who can open up more opportunities and doors for you and your business, you do it on LinkedIn, and you will get the decision maker so much quicker than you trying to go live on, for example, Facebook for 180 days even. The best results I've ever gotten was being present, posting regularly on LinkedIn.
The best result that you've gotten for your client?
Yes. For myself, for my clients, definitely on LinkedIn.
Right. And for your client, if you can share, what product was it that they were promoting on LinkedIn?
Okay. On LinkedIn, some of my clients are coaches, some of them are corporate coaches, and some of them are personal coaching coaches. Some of them also have companies and build brands. So it really depends on person to person, because I do high-level coaching, so it means I work with you one-on-one. And I love that, because we get to hone in on what are your key strengths, because the fastest way to connect with an audience across all platforms, especially on LinkedIn, is sharing a little bit of your vulnerability. So if you share your stories and how to be vulnerable, but selectively, is sharing your coming up journey. The behind the scenes of like you discussing with somebody or meeting with somebody, the inner dialogue that you had. Now, sharing thoughts, ideas, those are the things that fly on LinkedIn. Because it's beautiful. You if you do that, you would love it, because LinkedIn is a collaborative platform. Bosses, it's lonely at the top, that they say, right? So they want people to talk to them. Not talk at them, because that's what you do with your underlings or your subordinates. Talk with them. So when your post seems conversational and you share your coming up journey, because believe me, however you're coming up, everybody has the same sort of struggle coming up, being like, can I do this? Is it possible? And then having a breakthrough, and then celebrating. There's the internal struggle and external struggle. So everybody goes through the same internal struggle.
Certainly, this is something new for me, because, well, I'm not, as I mentioned, I'm not much on LinkedIn, because whenever I go in, it's more like, oh, congratulations, you've achieved this position. It's very sterilized postings that I've seen, but maybe I'm just not connected to the right people. I don't know. So
I think mostly because your connections are very high level, like CEOs, CFOs, right? But if you lean on LinkedIn and you share your journey, because you have an amazing journey. I've had the privilege of listening to a little bit of it, and already I'm so inspired by the life that you live, the work that you do, and the businesses that you build. If you share that, just a selective, because I'm not asking share everything, trauma dump. No, selective sharing, you will cut across barriers like crazy.
Thank you for that, Dini.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing about what you went through. I'm sure it was not easy for you to go into, especially what happened when you were 10. Thank you for sharing all that.
Was a bit hard.
And to share with the audience that you can actually, because all this while you see on social media, the power of manifestation, all that. But sometimes for me at least, does it work? I do know it's good to tell yourself that you're worthy, and because it affects on how you behave and how you carry yourself. But I didn't realize that it could actually cure illnesses. It can go so far as to cure illnesses. I thought that for wellness is more than just, well, food is important, but I didn't realize that the mind is just as important as what you take in, as in what you eat. And your exercise and those obvious things, but with the mind, the powers of Bismi, it works wonders.
It does. And I just want to thank you, because I think what you're doing right now, the section where you talk about wellness and how it affects our daily life, this is super key to help, like, you know, people out there who's looking for a way, you guys who's looking for a way to overcome being stuck, repeating the same patterns. What you're doing is essentially giving them tools. So thank you for doing the work that you do, for sharing.
And thank you to you for sharing again.
Thank you.